Was both intentions of malice intentions? Was he being homophobic? And was he coming for my fellow Fujos? Because I'm a Fujoshi myself, a proud one. We are going to get into this, and all points are, to a point, valid. You feel how you feel, and you can't determine how somebody feels. So we are going to get into this, guys. We're going to talk about this because the videos, it took me some time. I decided to take my time because the videos that I have been seeing, it's just so many opinions, so many comments on what actually he said, in what context he was saying it, and what exactly was so offensive about the context of him talking about the series not and where he's at status wise, money wise in the BL industry. Let's talk about it, let's get into it, and let's tap into this intro.
She's quirky and she's fresh, the BL drama mistress. She breaks it down so fine. Her vibe is so divine. If you don't know, then now you know. Just relax and ride the flow. Like, share, and subscribe, then grab a snack. Welcome back to the hashtag J podcast.
If you don't know, now you know. Welcome back to hashtag J Podcast. And guys, you already know it's your fave podcast with all your BL recap, react content to all the real boss up and gossip in the BL streets, along with our opinions and thoughts and views on the BL series that we love. Now let's get into the situation with Oat, which happened to be a live video that he did either before playing football or after playing football with his friends. Now, my opinion so far, before getting into it, because we're going to get into the clip of him having this conversation with his friends on a live video, which happened to be, if I'm not mistaken, a TikTok live video. I'm going to be honest with you. I think him hanging out with his friends and whatever conversations he is having with his friends, he should not have went on a live video. How we converse and how we handle ourselves is totally different than when we're in front of a camera recording videos, doing interviews, and just the dynamic of his career is totally, he's a total different person when he's around people that really know him and that he feels safe and he can really be himself and have conversations that normally he can't have around other people. Everybody is relatively the same way. You're code switching. You're switching up the way you're using words and how you're describing situations to not be so offensive to others. Now, when it comes to the Omegaverse dynamic of this BL series, this is a new topic to a lot of people, especially if you are not into BL manhwas and BL animes. You are not relatively knowledgeable of the Omegaverse and how it works as far as impregs, alphas, omegas, betas, which enigmas is now being introduced into the situation. I mean, it could have always been there, but it's relatively something I'm learning over the course of time. Now, how he described the series, to a point, he wasn't relatively wrong. The instincts of an alpha and omega is relatively of an animal-like instincts, like as if you was into the vampire and the werewolf dynamic and then how the werewolves work. But his wording wasn't the best, and I know I saw a lot of comments where people was like, the company need to work on how he describes series and how he basically vocalize his opinions. I don't think the video at that point in time in his mind was not something that required him to handle it as if it's a PR situation. I think he was relatively relaxed. He was around his friends, so he carried the conversation in a manner that he felt like it would be okay to put on live, being that he has a level of following. Okay? He shouldn't have went on live, honestly. But there's other things that he did say that we are going to touch on. But let's just get into his live video. So let's pop into that.
แนะนำให้ดูเรื่องโพสเล่นนี่แหละดูติดงอมแงมอะไรวะมันก็ชวนดู
NC แรงพี่ NC แรงคนติดจาก NC ส่วนใหญ่
So I just want to point out when he is bringing up the NC scenes, he makes a comment that the fans love NC scenes in the BL series. I don't know if the friends were inquiring why there's so much NC scenes or inquiring how much NC scenes he's going to have in this upcoming series. But he does point out that in his opinion, the fans love NC scenes. Now, when it comes to that statement, that is his opinion. Is he accurate? Who knows? That's his opinion, and he can have that opinion from his perspective. It could be a perspective he's getting from the reaction from him in both series, My Stubborn, how people took to the points where him and Boat were doing some things, which happens quite frequently in that series, but it doesn't take from the story. It was a really good BL series. Now, when it comes to that, I will say I started watching more international BL series, I want to say in 2017 or 2018. And the BL series that pump out now have way more NC scenes than they did when I first started watching international BL drama series. And what I get from business, cash is king. Now, if BL series with more NC scenes are getting more views, people are investing more money into those characters, people are investing more of their time into those stories, it could be a point where he's not lying. He's actually making, to a point, a valid point. His wording is just not the best, and people in Thailand found it offensive, which he, like I said, it shouldn't have been a video. It shouldn't have been a conversation that was on a live video. But to a point, how things are happening and how BL series now are incorporating a lot more NC scenes, I think to a point, relatively, they're getting more views and more people watching their series when there's a bit more risque scenes in those series. So to a point, like I said, two opinions can be true at the same time. There are a group of people who do love the NC scenes, and if you're a person who are not big on the NC scenes, the comment don't apply to you in hindsight. But the mannerism on how he said it, at the end of the day, he has to kind of take it on the chin how people's going to receive it as well. Like I said, two things could be the same. How he said it is what people are, if I'm not mistaken, really taking offensive of. But the whole point of the NC scenes, he's not kind of wrong. Like I said, cash is king. And if these companies and these production agencies are making more money off of BL series with more skin-to-skin action scenes in them and more in-depth skin-to-skin scenes in them, he actually kind of have a point. Let's get back to the video.
ซีรีส์วายช่วงนี้ไปดังทางจีนเยอะเหมือนกันนะ
เยอะพี่ผมไปแฟนมีต ที่จีนมา3 ที่แล้วเดี๋ยวสิ้นปีนี้ไปอีกที่หนึ่งเนี่ยเดี๋ยววันที่เท่าไหร่27ผมต้องไปบราซิลก็อาร์เจนตินาไปแฟนมีตไม่คิดว่าจะต้องตัวเองจะต้องไปขนาดนั้น
จากเมื่อก่อนแบบเงียบๆนะฮะ
เงียบพี่เมื่อก่อนผมก็แบบอยู่แบบเหมือนคนเล่ร่อนในวงการอ่ะอันนี้อยู่มาเป็นแบบไฟอยู่ๆก็มาส่องสว่างก็ดี
จังหวะพอดีเลย
ช่วงกอบโกยพอดี
Okay. Here's the next part that we're going to talk about. Now, in the video, you saw where he said in the industry he was homeless. He was homeless in the industry. Now, this is his moment to shine, and he's reaping the benefits of it. Like I said, his wording doesn't come off very sincere, but it's like how I perceived it, how I perceived the situation. I'm gonna take the meat from the bones of it, okay? When watching this video, like I said, I don't feel like he's coming from a malice point of view. I just think that at the end of the day, he was around his friends. He was comfortable, so he was speaking in a dialect that him and his friends converse in, okay? When he came to this comment, me looking at it, I took it as him pointing out that in the beginning it was hard for him to debut, basically, for him to get his time in the sun, to shine in the industry. Now that him and Boat are a appealing pairing, they got a fan base, they have a following, yes, a following that is standing by them. They have a following. Now he is reaping the benefits of his hard work. Like I said, at the end of the day, his verbiage is of being around his friends and being that he thought it was bright. No offense, I ain't trying to come for you out, but baby, my issue with the whole situation with you is the fact that you went live in the first place. You shouldn't have went live with a conversation that you were having with your friends about your career. It's perceived as you are using the BL community to line your pockets. It sucks, but you have to be careful. You have to know when to be on screen and you have to know when to be off screen. And moments with your friends should be more private moments. I understand that they have fans, but not every aspect of your life has to be a situation that a fan has to be a part of.
คนละนี่ให้กันของน้ำอ่ะริมน้ำอ่ะ
อ๋อชาวาชาวา
อาจจะว่ามองอยู่
เนี่ยสอน
พี่โอ๊ตดีกว่า
ใช่เนี่ยกำลังถ่ายเรื่องใหม่ถ่ายเมื่อวานเพิ่งเสร็จตี 4ครับพี่เสร็จตี 4วันนี้
เรื่องอะไรใช่ไหม
เรื่องชื่อว่าน็อตเป็นพันธะติดแป้งมันหมาเอากันแล้วแบบว่าอันนั้นติดกันนะพี่เป็นแบบนั้นเลยเป็นเรื่องในจินตนาการของแบบพวกสาววายอะพี่
ช่องไหน
ตอนนี้ผมกำลังคุยช่องวันครับแต่ว่า
All right, so we see he is describing the concept of the Not series. Now you see how he correlated the concept of the Not series to the mating of dogs. That sent them to the uproar too. That sent a few of the BL bays in the uproar. Now, like I said, in hindsight, he's kind of not wrong. And kind of not right at the same time. It's more of a wolf-like thing, but the concept in how he understands the Omegaverse is of dogs mating. And to all my BL Fujos and all my BL bays, to a point, you got to meet somebody halfway who's trying to understand something that they don't know. And this is new to the BL drama space. We are just migrating those story dynamics into BL drama series. So it's not a concept that all of the actors who are playing these roles fully understand the whole concept of their roles before they really indulge deep into the role to get a full understanding of it. So I honestly didn't take offense to his explanation of the series, because at the end of the day, he doesn't really fully understand the concept of the series. He is still learning himself. And if that's the closest thing he can get himself to understand the basic concept of this series, it's just, that's what it is. Let's get back into the video.
ไม่รู้ว่าสรุปยังไงเป็นแบบเรื่องที่ผู้ชายสามารถท้องได้
พลิกแพลงไปเยอะเนาะ
ผมก็เข้าไม่ถึงตอนแรกแล้วแบบเพิ่งมาแบบมาเรียนหรือว่ามาแบบมาฟังเรื่องราวจริงๆว่ามันเป็นอะไรยังไงเงี้ยมันเป็นโลกเหนือความจริงอะพี่
โลกในจินตนาการนี้อ่ะ
ใช่ใช่ใช่เป็นอีกโลกนึงที่แบบไม่เคยเกิดขึ้นในชีวิตจริง
So now he did issue an apology where Oats said, "I would like to sincerely apologize for speaking without sufficient consideration and for joking excessively. I acknowledge that my words were inappropriate and may have made many people uncomfortable. I deeply regret my actions and will take this as a lesson to be more thoughtful and careful in what I say and how I express myself in the future. I'm truly sorry." Now, I think in a few of their fan meets, I can't find the video, which is aggravating me. It's a video of Oat walking off because he needed a moment where he breaks down. I think that a few of, well, maybe one or two of the fan meets since this live video, I feel like he's been questioned about that, and it's like it's an emotional thing for him. And to a point, you got to burn to learn. So it's a lesson for him. And in these learning moments, the way he's feeling right now, I think he will be a bit more smarter on how he maneuver with conversations with his friends. And like I said, it's a lot of people say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I get it. I just don't think that this conversation was meant for a live video. And I understand that you and Bo are getting big. You're getting big. You're getting more of a fan base, but you have to have a bigger awareness. My issue with the situation, and my issue doesn't even fucking matter, but I give my unapologetic opinion on the situations that we are currently talking about. So my opinion on the situation, honestly, not all aspects of your life need to be recorded. If you were hanging out with your friends, hang out with your friends. You did not need to go on live on TikTok. TikTok did not need to know the conversation that you were having with your friends. I can understand if the concept you was thinking, listen, we are talking about the series. Let me give it a relative promotive type of situation. Let me promote it in my own way, but more of in a relaxed setting of me talking to my friends. No. If you were choosing to go that route with that live, the words that you used should not have been the words that you chose to say. The mannerism of even his body gesture, he was really relaxed and just hanging out with his friends. So I firmly believe it was a live that wasn't meant for us to see or hear. At the end of the day, I mean, whether you agree or disagree, I just stand firm on what I said. At the end of the day, we all talk to our friends totally different than how we talk to anybody in the workplace or anybody that we meet on the street or any other setting that requires us to be our best selves, or that we feel that we need to be our best selves. I think he was very relaxed. He was hanging out with his friends. He was having conversation with his friends, letting them know what he got going on, what's new in his life, how work is going for him. It was not a conversation that needed to be for TikTok. And I'm hoping that is the lesson he learned out of the situation. Maybe my ass don't need to be popping on TikTok left and right and talking about shit that later on that I'm going to have to apologize for and basically have to deal with the aftermath of me doing the shit that I did in the first place that I didn't really need to do. because he didn't need to go live with his friends. He didn't need that conversation to be a live situation. You know what I mean? Because in the video, it's not like you can see it's him and his friends like side by side. The video is pointing at him. So I think that was an intimate moment that he should have just kept between his friends. And had that had been the situation, then I don't think that he would be going through what he's going through right now. So I think for me, his learning lesson was you should have kept it to yourself. And as far as like comments regarding whether he meant what, like, is it something serious to come for him? At the end of the day, that's a different country. How they maneuver, how they take things, I am not going to tell you how to receive stuff. I'm not going to tell you how to deal with things. On our end, as far as me here at the #J podcast, Oats' words to me were not offensive. To me, they weren't something that requires me to say, oh, I'm canceling him, I'm never gonna. No, it was more so I didn't need to know. That's all it is. I didn't need to know. He do need to be educated more on the series that he is about to play in, because interviews in the future, he's going to need to work on how he describes this series. That I will say they need to work on with the company. He needs to get a better understanding and how to articulate himself when talking about not, because it's a realm where he doesn't understand and he needs to get the understanding. Other than that, I just feel like, boy, why did you hit that button and go live? You got a growing fan base. That's good. I'm happy for you guys, but you have to think about it. It's not just you. You have to think of Boat too. And I want to say that Boat has been very, very, very supportive. In the videos that I've seen, he has stood by him. Even he got emotional over Oat being hurt and emotional behind everything. So I want to commend, this pairing, this situation, it may seem like a very big bump in the road that you feel that it can cause a dent. But honestly, for me, this shows me how deep and how close him and Boat are. And the fact that Boat stands by Oat the way he does, I found that to be so cute. And Oat, you will get through this. It will pass, but you just need to do better and not be so flimsy with your hot ass. I understand you love doing your TikTok videos. You love doing stuff like that. But personal-ish just need to stay personal, and that is including hanging out with your friends. Guys, you already know, if you like, love, and enjoy our amazing react content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when we upload new videos. You can also check us out on TikTok, where I tell you I give my more frequent react to the BL series that I'm watching, and currently I'm into Head to Head and finally tapped into top form, and baby, your girl is. Head over to TikTok. We'll chat. Guys, you already know, be you, be amazing, and most importantly, be safe in these crazy streets. Layers, my beautiful BL babes.
If you don't know, then now you know. Just relax and ride the flow. Like, share, and subscribe, then grab a snack. Welcome back to the #J podcast.